What's going on? MourN here again. I hope everybody's having a good Friday, getting ready for the weekend. I'm going to talk about today, for this second video today, I'm going to talk about the first heroes that you should progress within the game. So this really pertains mostly to early game players, but it's good to hear and understand, like, some of these heroes are not just early game, they go much further and they go late game. However, I'm going to do one in each faction that I think early on in the push to hard are absolute musts. And the thing about these heroes is they are obtainable by everybody with very few exceptions. And if they're not easily obtainable, they're very common within like the pool from training and summons. I get them very often. So we're going to start at the bottom of the list with the hero that you should build first, but is the least needed. The first hero that you should build is in the Dark faction, and that hero is Chin. Chin is surprisingly a very good hero, especially for like the early levels, because his skills to disarm are super great. Like, you can really shut down the enemy team early on when all you need is raw power. Chin does this, and he provides a little healing, so there's more utility within him. Chin is a hero that you don't have to invest heavily in. When you're building him, I'm not going to go deep into what to build the heroes are because they're not proper reviews. This is just what you should be looking for to push to hard, because hard is going to get you the best, start to give you resources so you can level these heroes. Resources are very hard to come by in this game. At least they are as of right now. But Chin is that nice hero in the Dark faction. He's not a top tier hero, but he doesn't quite go into that I'm strictly food category. He will help you progress, and CC and Dot are going to be super important early on in the game. I don't think he's going to I don't think he transitions well into late game, but to get you too hard, Chin is a definite hero that you're going to want to build. The next hero I want to talk about is extraordinarily common in the light faction, and that's Carl. Carl is sneaky. All right, so Carl has a nice ability that after he hits 30% health, he heals back up for the next 3 rounds, and it can be activated. I believe it's every 3 rounds. You don't have to put a large gear investment into him, and you don't have to invest much into his artifact. I know for certain that he was the go-to hero for bosses for a tribemate that pushed to hard using Carl. After hard, Carl goes away. You can't really use him once you start going into hard. But Carl fills another function also. Carl is great in the mirror. And being able to have a hero that's going to help you with boss DPS, which is really what you're going to need while you're building your other heroes like your Augusts and your Michelles. This Carl will let you get resources for artifact progression as well as push on bosses. So when you're short DPS, you throw Carl in there and it's good. He's going to really help you push. Carl, you can't get anywhere within the market. Like with Chin, you actually get Chin in I believe it's the arena store, but don't spend your tokens on the arena store for Chin. You want to spend your arenas on the next hero I'm going to talk about, the number 3 hero, and it's the hero in the Forest faction. That hero is Matthew. Matthew is a very good hero in general. He's harder to get, but you can get him within the tribe store. No, sorry, not the tribe store, the arena store. So all arena tokens until you can A5 Matthew should be invested into Matthew. Matthew is good early game, and he transitions very well into late game. And he doesn't have a very heavy need within gearing, which makes him very very unique compared to other heroes. You only need to look for hit points and his weapon and his boots. The rest of the gearing, I mean, you can go all defensive stats, but it doesn't really matter. You can look for crit because his healing can actually crit, but it doesn't matter. You only need to focus on hit points. And you throw the green ore on Matthew, and Matthew will keep your team alive very well at all stages in the game. And if you get a high enough Matthew early, you can start to get rid of Carl a little bit earlier and bring in August, as I mentioned in the August video. Matthew's artifact, you don't need to take it higher than 10. Plus 10 is perfectly fine. I'm in Nightmare. I still run Matthew with only a plus 10 artifact. Hit point, and he keeps my team alive very exceptionally well, except on bosses with big crits. The only problem with Matthew is Matthew kinda only is useful with one ore. You can make the argument for the energy ore, but it's better used on other heroes. Matthew is strictly the green ore. The green ore is going to help push Matthew to heal better. So Matthew is a great hero because he's going to transition well in the late game, but he does not transition like the next two heroes. And the next two heroes, it's very debatable on which one you want to build first, because both of them are useful in literally all aspects of the game. You can use them anywhere you want, and they have a use from early game all the way to where I am at late game. But I decided that the number 2 hero that you should focus on building is Margaret. Margaret is a PvP powerhouse. Margaret will carry your team in PvP. That dot is insane. Her gearing is pretty straightforward also. You're looking for crit and attack. You just want it, she's a glass cannon. But early game, Margaret's good because she doesn't need the ore that you get from the cloud top, the twilight. She's perfectly good with the green ore. The green ore works fantastic on Margaret, and you can also use the energy ore. JimmyBeh has had some really, really good luck with the energy ore. I have not, but I've seen the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. Margaret is very good with the energy ore also. Margaret's good in mirror. Margaret can push mirror. Most times she cannot solo mirror. Margaret is really needed versus bosses. Margaret is needed in the ruins because she's going to help you push within the ruins. And Expedition is kind of unique within the gameplay as it's not strictly PvE. It's like a mix of PvE, PvP. Margaret helps there because her dots just really ramp up and destroy the other team. Margaret is probably the best all-around hero in the game for low to non-spenders. When you become a spender, Margaret probably isn't the best in the game, but she's there. I've not yet reached a point where she is not useless. She's still pretty useful everywhere within the game. That brings us to our last hero. The number 1 hero that you should build in this game from when you start your account is Sylvia. I have said from very early on that Sylvia starts to fall off, and this is not a lie. Sylvia does start to fall off. Margaret hasn't. But the reason you want to build Sylvia first is the ruins. Sylvia with a plus 10 artifact and some good gear, good rolled gear, can solo the ruins level 100. She doesn't need another person on her team. She will clear the entire level. That is amazing, and there is not another hero that can solo it in that manner. Not even Berea, who I think late game becomes better because you need to invest so much more into Berea, whereas Sylvia has minimal investment. 3 pieces of gear all need block. The weapon, the boots, and the armor. Those all need block. And then you can put whatever else you want on Sylvia. And you use the purple ore, and Sylvia's clearing levels within the ruins by herself, no questions asked. She does well in PvP. She transitioned super great into late game. She does start to fall off a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I can tell. And there's been times where I've had to swap out Sylvia for Berea, especially versus bosses, because her damage starts to get much lower after you get past normal. But the point of this guide is the 5 heroes to get you to hard at the minimal cost to you. And since the regression system is so good, you can build these heroes confidently knowing that you're going to be able to regress your chin later when you start to get better heroes like Genji and Sarah, or your Carl when you finally get August copies and Musashi copies. You can feel real confident because these heroes are going to be the tiers that boost you to where your other heroes start to take over and become good. Too many players like to build like, oh, August, I'm going to build August because he's an S tier hero. But when does he become an S tier hero? Because early game, Carl will melt in August. Doesn't mean Carl's better than August because he's not. Well, that concludes this list. This is just a short video to explain who I would build first if I had to go back and redo my account. It would help progression a lot, and that's huge. I forgot to mention that all the heroes I mentioned will do exceptionally well against the Nether boss. With the exception of Chen, he's not really there for bosses. He's there for mobs to push within the campaign chapters. He takes Sarah's place until you get Sarah at high levels. This is really just the idea of what you need to do to push into hard. You want those resource accumulations fast. Margaret and Sylvia are going to help you push to level 100 and minus. And you'll be able to get them all fairly easy because you have the market and the training. Sylvia is a common training hero. That doesn't mean that these are the best heroes in each faction and are the only heroes in each faction. Keep that in mind. Some honorable mentions within each faction that you can look into. For Forest, a second possibility is Cynthia. For Ocean, you can start Berea early. For Chaos, you have Karthus, and you also have Melissa, who is essentially Margaret Light. And then within the Light faction, you can build Irene, who is also a good choice. She's just a little more rare than Carl. That's why I chose Carl first, due to how common he comes. And then, surprising enough, you can actually build Jacob instead of Chen. Jacob is also not bad and will help you push in mobs. And he's also exceptionally good in Mir. Well, if you like my content, please like, subscribe, and share. I hope I wasn't all over the place with this video, and thank you. Have a great day.